Hey everybody, what's up? I want to make a follow-up video from the video I put up yesterday talking about the things that I send to my coach Bryce Lewis on a weekly basis. This got some responses from people that got me thinking of things I never really considered, like why don't I put up a response from Bryce? So I checked with Bryce, he said he was cool with that, so I'm going to show you exactly what he had to say based off of the video you probably saw. If I thought about this in advance, I probably would have made it one video. That would have been the smart thing to do, but I've never been accused of being intelligent before. I will say, however, with this, it is kind of customized to me and how I'm training and my own instances, so don't necessarily think that this will translate well over to you. It might, but I just want to kind of throw that caveat out there, but hopefully you guys find this interesting. Big thanks to Bryce for letting me share this as I continue on in my pursuit of swole. That might actually be a good video title if I was aesthetic. Pursuit of swole. Anyways, let's be honest. You didn't come here to see me talk. Let's get to Bryce.
B-Man, what's going on? Let me pull up my notes here for you. So yeah, another good week in the books. By my count, we are just about 4 weeks out from competition. Next week ought to be the last of some auto-regulated stuff before a week that should feel a little bit easier. So I really want to push the loads next week because we're auto-regulated and because it's quite a bit out from competition. So we have some room to kind of settle in and dissipate some of that fatigue before the competition. So we've got some doubles at 8.5, and I think even though this was a triple at 9 on the squat and on the bench press, I feel like you'll be able to push a similar or even a higher load, even though we have the RPE dropped a little bit. So, go ahead and, especially on the squat when you work out to a full set of 5. So go ahead and play a little bit and work up to something heavy. I still want you to try to hit the RPE, but remember that we're still programmed off of some prior maxes before you had set new PRs on the squat and the deadlift. So when I talk about like percentages of 1 rep max, some of these will be a few percentage points below what you're probably capable of doing. So kudos to you for changing the pause on all reps. I'm looking forward to that. It's really just practicing sport form more than anything. So I'd like you to just make sure that you do that going forward. And I saw you made the change late in the week. Good stuff there. Staying on the trend of the bench press, you gave me a great view from the side, and I'm wondering if you can just externally rotate your elbows just a little bit more. I think that small change does a few things. It tightens the upper back a little bit. It raises the arch so your chest is a little bit further off the bench and shortens the range of motion. So as long as there's no pain, I'd like you to play around with that until we're about 2 weeks out from competition, at which point I'm hoping it feels a little bit more natural so you don't have to think about it while you're pressing. So going to the squats, we've got you squatting 3 days per week. A moderate to heavy-ish high rep session on day 1, the SSB squats on day 2, and the heavy squats on day 3. I think at this point it might be a little bit too much to push higher RPEs on all 3 days. But if you're finding that the SSBs are like a joke, that it's below RPE 6 or something like that, I want you to raise the load. The point of the last week plus 10 pounds, 5 kilos progression is really just to make sure that we're adding load on a week-to-week basis, that the RPE is raising slightly. But if it's still too low, and that was an estimate in terms of what you might be capable of on the safety squat bar, go ahead and raise it to essentially an RPE 7 on your last set. Okay, I think that'll give us about the difficulty that we need, and we may shave a few reps off that come closer to the competition. Speaking of the fact that we are working off some outdated training maxes, bench press is probably fine, but come the start of the next mesocycle at week 40 or 3 weeks out, I am going to want to probably auto-regulate those or add a few percentage points or tell you like, hey, hit 92% or RPE 8.5, whichever comes first, and I'll let you run with that, okay? On the deadlift, good stuff. I think that was like 93% of your old 1RM for a pretty comfortable double. So I'm really happy with that as a top set. I'm wondering how the back-offs felt too. I saw that you hit RPE 7 on those, so really that should have been very controlled, very comfortable. This week, I know it says 88%, but you can bump that up to 90 on squats and deadlift as well. I do think you nailed the RPE on the bench press. Finally, 2 notes, one on technique. As far as the deadlift is concerned, it looks like, about 3 inches off the floor, the bar starts to get a little bit away from your body. So keep that thing close, and I think that will kind of keep you in your groove as you finish the lift. Finally, your body weight has been climbing a little bit, which I like in this case, especially with the fact that you're competing now in some USA powerlifting comps where the upper limit for you is 231. So we've got that room versus that 220 meet you did earlier in the year. So since we've got the room, I definitely think that you'll be a comfortable lifter, a few pounds up. I don't want you in danger of, exceeding the weight class, but I do think that 226 probably looks better on you than 220 does. And I think that's a step in the right direction. Finally, as far as that squat set where you push an extra few reps, that's probably the right move. I mean, you could have either hit that triple, stopped, loaded more weight on the bar, and done another triple, or what you did is perfectly fine. I mean, a few reps here and there is really not going to make or break anything, to be honest. What we're really concerned is like the overall trend of things, progression of volume and intensity, and making sure that we taper in enough time to make sure you perform effectively. So, yeah, I'm absolutely fine with that, to be honest. And I think some level of flexibility in training is important. Alrighty, dude, I think that about covers it for this time. Next week, again, you've got that 5th workout with a little bit of extra pulling to finish things out. Glad to hear that things are good and that the extra pressing in kind of smaller chunks is working well for us. All right, talk to you soon.